And also, a lot of us, especially in the cultures that we come from, us men especially, we feel that we are somehow not masculine if we show the soft side to our wives. We feel that we are somehow betraying our masculinity if we really show our wives how much we love them. And honestly, that is not only foolish, it's just not true. It's not only wrong, it's factually incorrect, and it's going to harm the marriage. Our Prophet ﷺ, in a culture that was far more pseudo-macho than ours, pseudo-macho, it's not real macho-ness, it's pseudo-macho. In a culture that was far more, if you like, demonstrating a version of masculinity than ours is, and nobody mentioned love for women publicly. We all know the famous hadith in Sahih Bukhari, when a Bedouin came and he said, Ya Rasulullah, who do you love the most? Man ahabbu nasi ilayk. And everybody understood that he is intending, who do you love the most amongst the people sitting in front of you? And the interesting point, when our Prophet said this hadith, Aisha is not in the audience. He is not saying what he is saying so that Aisha's ears hears. He is saying this to make a point that in a society which it is taboo for a man to say how much he loves his wife, in a society where people think it's not masculine or something to confess that he loves his wife, in front of the whole masjid where all the major Sahaba is there, he says, Aisha. And the man himself became embarrassed. La, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't mean that. I meant amongst the men. Even he got embarrassed. But our Prophet, don't you think he understood? I mean, don't you think he understood the purpose of the question? Ask yourself, why is he mentioning his wife's name? The language of love. Sure, she wasn't sitting there. Don't you think within 10 minutes the news would have spread all the way back? Don't you think the whole city of Medina would be buzzing? Our Prophet announced his love for Aisha. And how do you think Aisha would feel? See, this is what you call love. This is what you call announcing your love. You want to solidify your marriage. You want your spouse to love you and you love them back. Why is it not masculine? Why is it wrong to announce to the world that yes, I love my wife the most? So in front of all the men he announces Aisha. Then of course the man becomes flustered. No, I didn't mean women. I meant amongst the men. And even then, as we know, he linked the one man whom he knew decades before he married Aisha. He still linked him through Aisha, whom he's only been married to for less than a decade. He said, amongst her men, her father. Amongst the men, her father. Even though he knew her father even before she was born. And he knew her father for 40 plus, 50 plus years. But now, the love that he has for Aisha needs to be demonstrated. Her father is the one that I love the most amongst the men. This is what we mean. The language of love is number one language. You say it. Dear husbands, there is nothing wrong. In fact, it is Islamic and it is common sense to affirm love verbally for your wife. And unfortunately, many of us, we feel awkward to even express our love to our wives. Saying, I love you never grows old, no matter how old you are. The love should still be young. And if you don't want to say this word, say it in different ways. Like our Prophet ﷺ, he said in different ways as well. There's also a beautiful hadith about, and it's too long to mention all of it, but it's in Sahih Bukhari, it's like 2 pages long. It's essentially Aisha saying 12 different stories or 11 different stories of what happened in Jahiliyyah. It's a fable. This, 11 different. And the last one was a very beautiful story where there was a strong love between the husband and the wife. And it is Abu Zar' and Zar'. And our Prophet ﷺ said, out of all of these stories, O Aisha, my love for you is like the love of Abu Zar' for Zar'. Except that in your fable, Abu Zar' divorces Zar' and I'm never going to divorce you. Right? Now she's just telling a story. She's just saying something. And the Prophet ﷺ tacks on something that is not a part of the story. He didn't have to say, oh, out of all of these, the love that he has, that's my love for you, except that it's permanent. He didn't have to do that. But he's using an opportunity to express his love to his wife Aisha. See, this is how you're going to make that marriage very strong. So having that verbal language of love, having that positive sentiment. It is something that expresses love. Now the flip side of this, the opposite side of this, is to be negative when you speak, to always put the other party down, to say something that is demeaning or emotionally hurtful. How can a marriage flourish when every second or third statement is meant to hurt the other person? How can a marriage flourish? Be careful, and even if something needs to be said, even if something needs to be pointed out, try to change the language into something positive rather than negative. For example, simple example, and again, I don't want to be too stereotypical, but sometimes, let's say the default is, in most couples, let's say the wife is going to cook more than the husband, let's say. So, let's say the husband is irritated at, let's say, food isn't being cooked, okay? Rather than saying that, can't you ever cook some food? Can't you ever cook a decent meal? Flip it around and say, remember that biryani you made? Biryani is always, mashallah, language of love. That's another language of love, okay? Remember that biryani you made 2 weeks ago? I really miss it. The same sentiment is done. I really miss that dish that you cooked. Imagine if you said that rather than saying, why can't you cook a good meal? The same sentiment, you miss a meal. You really want that. But you phrase it positively. You put the spin on it. And now perhaps the spouse will be enthusiastic and do it out of genuine love rather than hate and being forced to do it. So the point is that this is what you call words of affirmation. You affirm your love. You say something that is positive. And one of the most important ways to do this is to praise your partner, to say something good about your partner. Husbands, always compliment your wife. No matter what she's wearing, she says, well, how do you think this looks? The answer is, don't think. Do not think at all. Say, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. You have to give good words here, okay? And of course, obviously, I shouldn't say this out too loud, but it's on the microphone, everything. Remember, we are allowed to exaggerate a little bit when it comes to spousal issues, okay? Alhamdulillah. Our Prophet ﷺ said that what a husband and wife say to one another, this hadith in Bukhari, there is no kadhib, there's no lying. What does this mean? What does this mean? SubhanAllah, some of our brothers, mashallah, they're so muttaqi, they think they have to be honest when their wives ask them how they look in the dress that they're wearing. La hawla wa quwwata illa billah. No, don't dig your graves that early, okay? You are allowed to, mashallah, tabarakallah, put some syrup and sugar. And Allah is not going to punish you for love language over here, okay? And I'm being serious here, that, subhanAllah, why do you think our Prophet ﷺ actually said, there is no kadhib in a man and a wife, a husband and a wife talking with one another? Why do you think he said this? Because he's opening the door. Go ahead and sweet talk one another. I mean, wallahi, think about it on a serious note. Why do you think there's a hadith in Bukhari that a husband and wife, when they are romantic with one another, he is describing her, she is praising him, go ahead and say whatever you want. Alhamdulillah, it's good for you, for the marriage. Why do you think he even says this? Because he wants to show you words of affirmation. Wives as well, don't always put your husband's accomplishments down. Like everything has to be a sarcastic thing. No, praise, thank. Say that you appreciate the job promotion. Oh, you only got 1 raise, not 3 raises. No, praise it a little bit more. Even if you are frustrated that only got 1 raise after 3 years, whatever, praise it. MashaAllah, I support you in that one word, subhanAllah, you will increase his love for you so much. By a word of affirmation, your respect and your support is going to go light years in his love for you. So both husbands and wives, first language of love is the most obvious, tongue. And we don't just mean I love you, which is important. We mean positive words, words of affirmation, words of encouragement, words that are meant to uplift the spirit. This is the first language of love. The second language of love. And this is a language that generally speaking, again, everything is general, women love to receive, but men find difficult to give. Okay? And it is the language of time. The language of time. This is the language that it shows you care. Why? Because we all have 24 hours in the day. And what you choose to do with those 24 hours shows your priorities. That is obvious, isn't it? right? All of us have commitments left, right, and center. If we wanted to, we could take on commitments we don't need. The fact that we take on a commitment shows it's going to come at the expense of something else, so we are prioritizing. Therefore, a woman wants to experience love by time.